Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for the weekly pop culture wrap-up. That's right, everybody. Thanks for checking out the video. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. This is the weekly pop culture wrap-up. It's the show where I go over the week's pop culture news, mostly comic books and movies. Let's get right into it. The Death of Superman 30th Anniversary Special drops from DC Comics this November. Now, of course, we're celebrating 30 years of the death of Superman. The death of Superman was a huge deal. It's so crazy to think that it was 30 years ago. So that means I was 11 years old. I was the 100% target audience for this book. I remember hearing about Superman dying on the radio, on the TV. I had to go out and get my copy. It was one of the biggest deals for an 11-year-old at that time. Well, DC, of course, is celebrating 30 years of the death of Superman with a special. This special is going to be an oversized edition, bringing in some of those original characters, not just Dan Jurgens, but as well as Louise Simonson, Butch Guice, Jerry Ordway, Tom Grummett. You're seeing all these different creators who were working on those Superman books at that time, because it's not just Death of Superman, Superman Volume 275 that was the big deal. It was all the build-up, the death itself, all of the aftermath, Funeral for a Friend, Reign of the Superman. I ate all of that shit up, and I'm kind of excited to see these characters, or should I say these creators, come back to these characters from this era. So you're going to see Wheezy, you're going to see Dan Jurgens, you're going to see Jerry Ordway come back to do stories kind of set within the death of Superman. Now, this is going to be a $10.99 one-shot comic, so it's over $10. So whether or not you want to pick it up depends on how much of a mark you are for Death of Superman. Me, I'll read it, and definitely on the weekly comic book review, we'll let you know what I feel. Also, we got a hardcover deluxe edition of The Death of Superman arriving in November, as well as a special edition of the aforementioned Superman 75, the actual death issue. So where that's getting a re-release, not necessarily a facsimile, but a special edition that will reprint Superman 75 yet again, as well as have some interviews and other little tidbits. Royal City Volume 2 is officially announced and arriving in 2023 from Jeff Lemire. Royal City, to me, has been one of my favorite Jeff Lemire comics that Jeff is actually writing and illustrating himself. It was this really melancholy, bittersweet kind of look at family life. At a certain time in the 90s, there was this kind of weird tinge to it. I fell in love with it. I adored it. They initially did like 3 trade paperbacks of it. Like, I think it ran for like 15 issues or something. And then that was 3 trade paperbacks. They released a deluxe hardcover that had a few added pages. But apparently Jeff has never been able to get this out of his head. It is returning for a Volume 2 next year. But we will get a sneak peek, an 8-page preview in the next issue of Image, the 30th Anniversary Anthology. So that will be issue number 5. Very excited for that. The book is called Royal City Volume 2, Last Days of Richie Pike. Then we got A Legacy of Violence debuting in October from Mad Cave Studios. This is written by Cullen Bunn with artwork by Andrea Muti. I'm a huge fan of Muti. I got to meet him at Heroes Con. Was a super cool dude, but a very prolific artist, doing a lot of work, and doing a lot of work with a prolific writer, Cullen Bunn. So this is about a doctor who unlocks, like, repressed memories, and it takes him on this journey to Central America or South America or something, and it just unravels. I don't know. You don't get much from the solicitation, but Cullen Bunn and Andrea Muti together again, definitely something we're going to be checking out. Alpha Beats debuts in October. This will be the first official book from Whatnot Publishing. That was a big deal a couple weeks ago. Whatnot announced they're also getting into publishing. Their first book is Alpha Betas. It will be written by Kyle Starks with artwork from Michael Calero and various others. This is based on an animated series where these 4 gamers have to go into different game virtual realities to defeat this, I don't know, this virtual villain that's causing real terrible things to happen in the real life. I'm not familiar with this property. I am familiar with Kyle Starks. I really like him as an artist. As a writer. So I'm excited to check it out. So it's cool to see that Whatnot is doing comic books, but it's cool to see that they're not just doing something silly. They're actually doing something that they probably think they have an audience for. It will appeal to people outside of your typical comic book bubble, and I think that's really cool. A game that's developed and targeted towards gamers more so than people reading comics, because that's one thing we need is more people reading comics, right? Got some trailers to talk about. I did finally watch the Sandman trailer. I was asked about that on last Sunday's Rockin Robbie Live. I hadn't watched it yet. I watched the trailer for Sandman. I'm 100% on board. I saw so many tidbits and Easter eggs and stuff from the actual series, but it seemed like it would be done a little bit differently, but I'm all here for that. I love and adore Neil Gaiman's Sandman. I love and adore the Audible audio drama, and I'm kind of rather excited for this. Like, I was already excited, but now I'm even more excited, because it looks like they're basically doing book 1 and 2 in this whole first season, and some of my favorite stuff is in book 1 and 2 of the Sandman. Now, I know it gets more intricate, it gets more fantastical, but books 1 and 2 are more like horror based, and so those are the stories that I've always like really like enjoyed more. But we've been revisiting through Sandman on Comics Revisited. But anyway, I love the trailer. I thought it was awesome. I'm really excited. League of Their Own dropped their trailer. It's going to be an Amazon Prime series debuting August 12th. So this is kind of a remake, a reimagining of the famous film League of Their Own. One of my favorite baseball films of all time, starring Tom Hanks, Gina Davis, Lori Petty, and Madonna. I love that one, right? So I was kind of with a little bit of trepidation coming in to watch this trailer, but I actually did like this trailer. They're able to illuminate more things in this story than they did in the previous one, like the place of women of color and other things like that. So I'm interested to see where they're going to go with that. I saw that Nick Offerman's in it, so I'm a big fan of him. So it looks pretty cool. I'm excited to check it out. It doesn't look as good as the original, but we shall see. And probably going to be revisiting that original next year for PCP Movie Night. We're probably going to do this whole like bases loaded month where we do baseball movies, because been wanting to do that for a while. Watch that Pearl trailer. This was one of the best trailers I have seen all year long. Pearl is a prequel to the film X by Ty West, an A24 film. And when you saw X in movie theaters, at the very end, you got a trailer for like a prequel. And it was weird, and you didn't know if it was real or whatnot, but it is real. This movie's been filmed, and it's coming out later this year. Pearl, the official prequel to X. Now, X still stands, to date, as my favorite movie of the year. But this trailer looks awesome. Horror fans, if you have not watched X, shame. But even if you haven't, watch the trailer for Pearl. I love it. This looks like it could have more of a resonating thematic relevance than X did. And I love X too. Saw the Pinocchio trailer, not the one that Disney's doing with Tom Hanks, but the one that Guillermo del Toro was doing, animated Pinocchio film on Netflix, dropping in December and in some select theaters. This looks awesome. I like that Disney Pinocchio movie a lot, and I like the trailer for the live action, but it's going to be dumb and silly, right? This doesn't look dumb and silly. This looks like it's got heart. It looks like it's got charm. It looks like it's got a kind of a creepy vibe to it, as it should, being directed by Guillermo del Toro. Animated, of course, but it still looks amazing. Ewan McGregor doing the voice of Jiminy Cricket, y'all. I'm 100% down on that one. That looks really freaking cool. Samaritan, saw that trailer. It's a new movie starring Sylvester Stallone. It drops on Amazon Prime August 26th. And, of course, we know Samaritan is like the Superman character in Astro City. That's not what this is, but it is a superhero movie starring Sylvester Stallone. He is a retired superhero, so he's an older man, he's retired, he doesn't do it anymore. This kid finds him, discovers, hey, I think that's Samaritan. They kind of develop this bond or this friendship, and then, of course, danger and conflict happen. It actually looks really cool. Like, I was very hesitant about even watching this trailer, but I like Sylvester Stallone. I love them Rambo movies. We love some Rocky. We love Demolition Man. Maybe a little bit of Judge Dredd, but I'm excited for this movie. It looks pretty cool. Though, Samaritan's from Astro City. You could have, anyway. Then we got the House of Darkness trailer. This is a new one. It debuts in September, stars Justin Long, Kate Bosworth. It's a reimagining of Dracula. And I don't know how far that reimagining is going to go, but in the trailer, what you get is that Justin Long meets Kate Bosworth randomly on the street. She brings them to her estate, her manor, this mansion that she lives at. She's like coming on to him pretty strong. And then it's like a reimagining of the Bram Stoker classic. And you're like, what? It's Dracula. And then you start kind of piecing things together. Is she one of the brides? There are other women there. Justin Long's like a Rainfield type character. Or from the book, actually, a Jonathan Harker type character. So pretty interested to check out this movie. Haven't seen much from Kate Bosworth lately. So there was a time where she was like it, and I was like into it. But this trailer kind of looks interesting, and I'm very excited, especially as a hardcore Dracula fan, to check it out. So that's what we got for you this week. What's coming up here at PCP? First of all, DC. What I say DC? Dylan's Horror Show is tonight at 6:30 p.m.ish Central Time over at Dylan's Horror Show. Link in the description below. We're talking about Stephen King's The Night Flyer. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Rockin Robbie live on Sunday night. And then Monday night, PCP Movie Night, the winner of the 2022 Action Fest Audience Choice Poll, True Lies. We'll be talking about True Lies. Anyway, lots of great stuff coming up here on the channel. Let me know what you're thinking about any of this news that we talked about. Did you see any of these trailers? What about this comic book news? Are you excited to dive $11 back into the death of Superman or not? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Join us over at patreon.com/PCP if you want to help support the channel. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. Thanks for rocking with us. Station, pop, pop, boom!